Can I be disappointed that that went exactly how I expected it to go? I feel like I can be because I've sat here moaning several times about the state of how we play and our mindset and our approach to how we should try and beat these teams. But I am still disappointed. I'm disappointed in the performance. I'm also disappointed in myself because this morning I sat here and said we were going to win that game 3-1 because I thought Serbia would actually be a little bit more offensive, and they weren't. They just sat back like all these other teams have over the last few weeks. And look, again, when I did my prediction, I said I can see it either being 1-0 England, 1-1 draw, or it's going to be an open game, which is obviously what I went for, which was the 3-1. And ultimately, we've got the result we wanted. I have delayed the release of this because I wanted to see what Gareth Southgate had to say before I actually came and gave my actual reaction. And I was absolutely flabbergasted when he said that was a really good game for us because we suffered a bit in that, and it's good that we suffered. I'm sorry. Since when was suffering a good thing? Like, really? We're playing Serbia. Don't get me wrong. Again, Serbia are a good team, but we should be beating Serbia. Again, I sat here this morning. Germany made a statement against Scotland. Spain made a statement against Croatia. We've made a statement tonight, and that is we're going to play for 1-0 every single game. That's the statement we've put out. I'm not saying that approach can't win us this tournament, because it genuinely could win us this tournament, because we have players capable of getting that goal, and we have a defensive setup that is arguably capable of keeping all these other teams out. However, I don't think it will. I really don't think it will. And I think the approach we're taking to these matches, obviously it's the approach we took against Bosnia, it's the approach we took against Iceland, so I knew this was the approach we were going to take to these 3 group stage matches, but we should be more assertive. We don't have the best defensive outlook. We don't. There's no shirking away from that. Serbia had chances tonight. They did. They may not have had many shots on target, but they had chances tonight. Mitrovic could have done better with a chance. Vlahovic's shot was a very good shot and nearly went in. They had headers that went wide. They had other shots that went wide. Pickford wasn't massively tested outside that one shot from Vlahovic, and a great save it was, but it was straight at him. Let's not get that twisted. If Vlahovic puts that 5 centimetres right or 5 centimetres left, that ball goes in the back of the net. Pickford is perfectly in line with it, which is good goalkeeper positioning. Again, don't get me wrong. But he makes a very good save, but on another day, another player may have shot that a little bit to the right or a little bit to the left, and that game finishes 1-1. Not only that, we had, 3 shots on target in that match? The first one, obviously being the goal, which was from a deflected cross, can I say. Saka whips it in, it comes off the Serbian defender, pings up and over Kane and the centre-backs, and Jude Bellingham, give him his due, fantastic from him. Getting in, being brave, getting in front of his man, bullet header into the back of the net, 1-0 England, happy days. I would say, would we have scored if that didn't happen? Well, we didn't score after that happened, so would we have scored if it wasn't for that little bit of luck? Who's to say? I don't know. Obviously, Rakowskic, I could never say his name, the Serbian goalkeeper. I thought it was going to be Savic's brother, but it wasn't. It was Rakowskic, whatever his name is. He makes a phenomenal save from Harry Kane. And genuinely, most other goalkeepers in world football might not have saved that. We could have that chance against France and Portugal and Germany and Spain and whoever, and Harry Kane puts that ball in the back of the net, if not for a phenomenal save. So you can make the argument that that save cancels out the bit of luck that came for the goal, because it was the same situation. Bowen puts in an actual cross that isn't deflected. It comes to Kane at the back post. It's a wonder save. So you can make the argument that those 2 incidents cancel each other out, and ultimately we still would have won that game. Obviously, the other shot coming from Trent Alexander-Arnold, straight at the goalkeeper from 35 yards. But that was it. Like, there were good performances. Don't get me wrong. I thought Bellingham played really well. I thought Saka played well for the most part, but I think he struggled in the first 10-15 minutes, but after he got his foot in the game and got himself the assist, I think the assist gave him the confidence he needed to start expressing himself. I thought when he came off and Bowen came on, same sort of thing. I thought Bowen played well after he came on. I thought the defence played fantastic. I thought Kyle Walker was brilliant. I thought John Stones did his job. I think Mark Gahey, after potentially a shaky game last week, I thought he had a very good game today. And I think Trippier was okay at left back, but I didn't really feel like we were massively under pressure from Serbia, and that's the point I was making. I was a little bit disappointed with how Serbia approached the game just from a sort of footballing spectacle. We scored after 15 minutes. You'd have thought that they would have tried a little bit harder prior to the last 10 minutes, but I guess they had to do their job and they wanted to keep it at 1-0, knowing that we were happy to play for 1-0. And that's the worry for me. We were happy to play for 1-0. And the substitutions. Really? I can understand him taking Trent off because he was giving it away a few times. He was looking a little bit raggy in there. But why Conor Gallagher? I don't think we needed legs in there. We needed more calm, more control. It would have made more sense to take him off and put Kobbie Mainoo on for Trent or Wharton on for Trent. Not Gallagher. I don't understand if you put Gallagher on for Bellingham, but there was no need to take Bellingham off. So for me, bringing Gallagher on was a waste of a substitution. Then when he took Saka off for Bowen, why didn't he put on Gordon? Like, I know I said Bowen had a good game. Don't get me wrong. I thought Bowen came on and had a good performance, but it didn't elevate our chances of winning the game. And surely we should be trying to elevate our chances of winning the game and putting a game to out of reach rather than relying on players to come on and do a defensive job against Serbia. We play that sort of defensive low block in the last 20 minutes against France or Portugal or Germany or whoever. They'll pick us off because they're good enough to pick us off. We can't do that. Yes, Gareth Southgate, we suffered tonight. We suffered as fans, as England fans, we suffered because we had to watch that utter nonsense of a performance. I don't care if you win the football match at the expense of our long-term prospects. Like, we could win these next two games 1-0. We could then beat our third place team 1-0 in the last 16. When we hit Italy or Spain in that quarter-final, if we play like that, we'll lose. If some miracle we don't play one of those teams in the quarterfinals and get through playing like that, and we play France in the semi-final, we'll get battered. We will get battered. So, yes, it was good that we suffered, says Gareth Southgate. But it's not good that we suffered as fans. There is an expectation on this England team to deliver, firstly, the tournament. There's an expectation from a lot of people to actually win this tournament. There's an expectation about the style of play. You put the clubs together. I saw a stat of you combine all the club goals from the players from these countries at this tournament. England were on something like 250. The nearest after that was on 170. We literally have 80 more goals in our squad than every other country at this tournament. And we're not trying to score more than one goal. Make it make sense. Like, what are we actually doing out there? And then also, the other thing I mentioned the other day, the left-hand side of the pitch. I said Trippier did all right. I think he did do all right. But he's a right-back playing left-back. He's all right foot. Every time the ball went out to Kieran Trippier, he just passed it back to Gahey or passed it inside to Rice. We never did anything down the left-hand side. Foden spent more time in the middle or on the right than on the left, so we're completely lopsided. Everything has to go down the right-hand side of the pitch. It's no wonder that Bukayo Saka is getting a lot of plaudits for his performance because he was our only outlet / Jarrod Bowen when Jarrod Bowen came on. We never brought on a left-sided player because the only one we have is Anthony Gordon, who would have been a fantastic outlet to bring on because we're under pressure and we need to release the ball to someone that's going to stretch the Serbian defence on the counter-attack. But instead, he put on Kobbie Mainoo. What? Like, again, make it make sense. Like, we're sitting back on a 1-goal lead against Serbia. If they equalise, I'm sitting here tonight giving one of the biggest rants of my life, calling for him to get sacked again. Like, I keep going on about it, and I'll mention it every time we play crap. Ivory Coast sacked their manager at the end of the group stage and won the African Cup of Nations. I'm not saying there's anyone out there right here, right now, who could come in and do the job any better than what Gareth's doing, but for crying out loud, at least try something other than just sitting back on a 1-goal lead against Serbia. Again, with respect to Serbia, they're a decent team, but they're not at the level of the teams we're going to have to beat to win this tournament. And if the mindset of this manager is we're going to beat these elite level teams by sitting back, it is an insult, not only to us as England fans, but it's an insult to the players that he has at his disposal. When was the last time you saw Man City sitting back on a lead? When was the last time you saw, Bayern Munich sitting back on a lead? Real Madrid sitting back on a lead? Granted, maybe Real Madrid did do it against Man City, but they were playing against Man City, for crying out loud. Arsenal, like, the players we've got in those attacking areas of the pitch are used to playing attack-minded, creative football. This England team does not do that under Gareth Southgate, and he is wasting the abilities of these players because I think he's scared of the vulnerabilities in our defence. Well, you want to know how Spain won the World Cup because they were a little bit worried about their defence being too attack-minded, and how Pep Guardiola's Barcelona teams and even Man City teams win these major trophies because their defence isn't quite at the standard that maybe they should be in terms of a proper defensive style of play. They win by scoring more goals than the opposition. How many times do you see Man City win 4 or 5-1? They don't care because they've won 4 or 5-1. When were they ever thinking, oh no, the opposition are going to equalise, they could still get it, we're going to have to go in and protect ourselves because we might concede? That is not the mindset of an elite level team. An elite level team looks at the likes of Kane, Bellingham, Foden, Saka, Rice, Palmer, Gordon, whoever, Eza, whoever you want to put in that attacking line, and goes, if we go for it, we'll beat every team that comes up against us. We may ship a couple, but we'll score more than they will. And that's what will cost us at this tournament. I am happy to sit here in 4 weeks' time, eating my words, saying we've won every single game 1-0. Because if we do, I will obviously be over the moon. But I don't see it happening. I can see it happening against Denmark. I can see it happening against Slovenia. And like I said, whichever team we end up playing from the third place playoff, the third place merry-go-round nonsense that they're doing at this tournament, I think it would work against whichever team we played there. The moment we hit a good team, it will not work. And we will lose. And that'll be it. Another tournament wasted. But it doesn't really matter what I say because that's the approach we're taking. That's the Southgate, Steve Holland mindset. Southgate wins again. England win again. It's 3 points to start off the tournament, but it's lackluster. It's depressing. It's a struggle to watch. Sorry, no. It's we have to suffer to watch it. I got my bloody quote wrong, but yeah. As always, let me know your thoughts, but very, very disappointed with England tonight. Still happy with the win. Still happy that we've got 3 points to start off the group, especially given the fact that the other two sides drew, so we're in a very, very strong position in the group after just one game. But this is a major tournament. We have to be thinking about how we approach every game to win this. I don't see a winning mentality from this England setup. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. I'll see you soon.